Hey everyone, Nat Daddy here with your comic book review for July 24th, 2025. Big week of books here. Here are 25 that I pulled and reviewed and read for you guys. Start off with Batman 161. This is the continuation of the Hush 2 storyline. Jim Lee's art in here is pretty good. Not as great as when he was in his prime and that, but still pretty good. We have Hush working with a few other people to, of course, take out Batman in that. And we see along the way that Batman, some of his teammates, some of his Bat family are kind of against what he's doing in that. He's already had to save the Joker once, when again a lot of these people would wish the Joker would be dead. Robin's had to break Bane out of jail to help with Batman in that as well. Barbara, being Batgirl, is quite upset that Joker almost killed her dad in another attack just a couple issues ago. So all this is going on. They're all fighting internally in that because of it. So, okay, so far. Issue 2 of the Captain Planet and the Planeteers reboot from Dynamite. This has been pretty good so far. Earlier this week, or maybe it was late last week, they announced that there's going to be a TV or streaming show of this. So that's pretty cool. The original series is going to be on the Hot 10 list for sure, the Trending 20. But we found out that there is the head maiden there, the head god lady, Gaia. She has sent out the 5 rings. They have found these 5 young adults here with all different personalities in that. And now the rings are all coming together and kind of take over. They're learning how to use these powers and work together because, again, these people have no prior knowledge of each other and they all come from different countries and different backgrounds in that. And when they get together, they learn to work together. And they are currently going against the company Plunder with its Lex Luthor type person that runs it and who has captured Gaia and wants to control the rings and all their power. So they are dealing with that, and they call forth Captain Planet. So good reboot so far. Lots of great action in here and lots of great artwork. My favorite ongoing book right now from Image, we have the 3rd issue of Exquisite Corpses. This is a pretty awesome book. We have something where it's called every year or every 5 years, I forget which it is, we have 13 families that get together, and these 13 families or groups are who actually run the world in that. They get together and they have a contest of their champions. They kind of duel to the death to see who survives, and the winner will be the group that runs the world for the next 5 years. So these 13 families all choose their psycho killer to compete for them, and a random town gets picked and kind of cut off from the world, and they all sit there and watch as their killers go through this town, killing and maiming people and trying to eliminate each other as well. All for scores, of course. So great action, lots of gore here. Kind of has like a Running Man meets a town being taken over by serial killers and that. So check it out, it's great. From Image, we have issue 3 of this book called Sleep. It's a neat book here, all done in black and white with the occasional hint of red to usually when it's tied into blood in that to signify things that other people can't see. This young guy, he's finally figured out that when he goes to sleep at night, he turns into this horrible monster, which we haven't actually seen yet, with some kind of like werewolf type creature, and is killing things and that. So the last few nights he's been running rampant through the town, and at the end of the last issue, he got himself arrested and locked up in jail, thinking that would save him at night. But he wakes up in the next morning to find out he's broken out of the jail, killed everybody there, and then gone through the town and done more killing. So he, of course, doesn't want to be doing this and feels super sad in that, and he's ashamed, and he's going to go try and kill himself to end it all. So this is a great book so far. After last week, we had the issue 12 of Space Ghost, and this is the first annual for the Dynamite wrapping up the first volume or the first year of the series. Another reboot that's been totally awesome. There is this evil, I don't know what you want to call it, like AI, this computer that has kind of come sentient and wants to take over the universe to create perfection in that. So it has targeted Space Ghost as its biggest enemy and has zombified or taken over all his Gang of Doom, I think they're called. It's kind of like the Council of Doom, which is all his greatest enemies, and using them against him. So they have to defend against that. Lots of awesome artwork. This Space Ghost run has been pretty cool so far, and they do manage to defeat him in that, and it leads into, which I would guess will be the next arc. I don't know if they're going to call it number 13, issue 13, or volume 2, number 1, but pretty awesome book so far. And you don't need to be a Space Ghost fan prior to enjoy this book. So we have issue 6. There's one more to go after this of The Seasons from Image, Rick Remender's book here. This has been a pretty cool book. Really like the artwork here. It's about a family called The Seasons. 4 daughters, each named after a season: spring, winter, summer, and fall. Or yeah, I think her name is fall. Maybe it's autumn. And they live in a town which has this mysterious kind of supernatural circus show up, and has slowly been taking over the town and corrupting everybody. This circus has done this to many towns in the past, and they want to especially corrupt the youngest sister here to complete the whole family in that. Her parents have disappeared looking through this circus and that, and each of her sisters have disappeared, but now she's finding him inside the big tops there, which is lots of craziness going on. So we don't exactly know why the circus is being evil and wants to do all this, but they have definitely taken over the whole town. So neat book so far as well. Also from Image, number 1, we have The Voice Said Kill. Pretty neat book here. It's about a woman who is a park ranger, forest ranger, severely pregnant, getting ready to pop in that, and she's kind of left running the forest area herself because everybody's been sick with food poisoning, and it turns out that these people were all poisoned by this kind of crazy wackadoo guy who is the person who is going through the woods all whacked out on mushrooms, wanting to kill people and that. So she's trying to track him down. Turns out the crazy guy is the son of the local kind of lady kingpin crime boss there. So she's got that to deal with as well too. So neat book. I really like the artwork in here as well too. I like that kind of sketchy, scratchy kind of art. And yeah, maybe there's more to this. Maybe these mushrooms are maybe supernatural. So neat book so far. I like it. Now for something totally random and weird. The Thundercats and the Powerpuff Girls. This takes place directly after the free comic book day one that came out earlier this year. But you don't have to know that to know exactly what's going on. But what has happened is the Powerpuff Girls have been transported to Third Earth there. And while they got there, they don't have their powers anymore. So now the other Thundercats are missing. And it's the Tigra and the Powerpuff Girls trying to find them in that. This does kind of a little bit more of a silly, funny, comedic feel with the Thundercats involved with Powerpuff Girls, but kind of fun, kind of sarcastic a little bit. I kind of liked it. I think it's, kids would like it because it is the Powerpuff Girls and the cartoony version of the Thundercats, but this is definitely has that sarcastic humor directed towards adults. So I don't know, check it out if you're looking for something a little different, a little weird. It is pretty fun and enjoyable. So the next issue, issue 5 of Absolute Martian Manhunter. Great book so far because it's so trippy and psychedelic in that. The city's been sent into blackout. This power station has been attacked and taken over by the White Martians, controlled people, And with the city being in darkness and the heat and all that, everyone's going crazy, doing horrible, bad stuff, looting and murdering and that. And the more they do it, more of these kind of shadow versions of them show up. Again, all part of this White Martian. So the John Johns / the Martian Manhunter are going around trying to help and track this all down and that. And we see that this is actually slowly connecting into, we find out all this shadowy evilness and that is slowly connecting to Darkseid. So now we finally realize that how the whole absolute universe is kind of Darkseid powered. So that's the first real major mention of Darkseid since they've done this. Issue 10 of Absolute Wonder Woman. This book I still really enjoy. It's Wonder Woman. She's still a princess. She's still the defender of the weak and animals, and she has an amazing heart, willing to sacrifice herself and anything almost to be the better of good. But at the same time, she's also from hell. She's also a witch, and she does some pretty balls out crazy stuff well. So this is the story. She's in the maze with the Minotaur, fighting these fish monsters from Clea, and trying to save this girl who, for whatever reason, I forget why, she's a very important, and she's kind of like a chosen child. So we see more of Diana's history in hell, being raised, where she has to do amazing feats and tests just to survive. Still enjoying the art here by Haven Sherman. And just a great book so far. Wonder Woman's a good character, and the way that they've put this twist on her from hell is really awesome. Amazing Spider-Man number 8. This new volume's been pretty good so far. This Hellgate character has just randomly showed up there and challenged Spider-Man and threatened people around him if he does not teach him and show him and that, and challenging him to fight. So Spider-Man's been fighting this guy all over the city and getting his ass just kicked. He really lays into him here, and it barely has any effect on the guy at all. So you see Spider-Man just try to figure out how to beat this guy, and maybe it turns out that he won't be able to. He's met the undefeatable foe power-wise. So really good. Artwork by Ramada, still pretty good in here. And really enjoying the new run there. Another one of these amazing old 80s cartoon reboots from Oni. This is part of the Nacelle universe. We got the second issue of the ongoing series from the Biker Mice on Mars. The mice are on Mars. They are trying to deal with the world catastrophe of that one volcano blowing up and the one city nearby being totally destroyed. They're finding out that the explosion wasn't done naturally, was somebody did that and that, and they're dealing with these new enemies as well too. So this is a great series. I really enjoy the artwork in here, and the story is pretty awesome as well. Do check it out. You can definitely get the first issue around, and the miniseries that connects all these characters together is now out in trade paperback. So, and what else do we got? From Mad Cave, we have issue 2 of Blue Palo Verde. We looked at the first issue last month. It was pretty cool. About this young woman who gets out of jail, and she's trying to find her dad, and he's been left off the grid type of thing, and he's living in this off the grid town. She managed to get there, and she's find out this town is like run by a cult, and the sheriff there is the leader. They kicked her ass and have forced her to leave and told her not to come back. And while this is going on, that weird sheriff leader has been worshipping this deity that may or not be real, and is definitely the reason for all this weirdness going on in the town. So this woman does manage to find someone who helps her find her dad, and now she's in trouble because they know she's back. So I could definitely see this being turned into some kind of movie or something. new series from Oni, part of the EC stuff. We have a new anthology called Catacomb of Torment. It's a pretty fun book here. 4 stories. One's about voodoo, which is pretty cool. Kind of has that old school art feel to it. The second one is it's kind of a neat one here too. It's more about the jungle and kind of has that weird nature can kill you type of thing. And then they have a story about a psycho serial killer who uses his victims to make all kinds of rare and magic mushrooms, and then a cool Halloween tale. So great stuff. I like how all the EC stuff has been going pretty strong in the Oni books. Number 9 of Justice League Unlimited, kind of an epilogue follow-up to the Worlds Undone storyline that was going in that crossover series here. We still see that some of the heroes from Time are still stranded. They're trying to figure out how to get them back. We see these 3 people, Time Traveler, I believe his name is, or Timekeeper in that, who is like a future version of Doomsday. He is there to help them and let them know that because of all this stuff going on with the time displacement and the dark side energy and that there is definitely some kind of crisis event coming. So more and more following up into that. And that will be happening later this summer. And all the dark side stuff too. Which leads us to this Superman issue 28, which is the Legion of Darkseid #1. Like we said, that absolute Darkseid universe has started to leak over into the regular DC universe, and this Legion of Darkseid, which is Darkseid influenced legion of superheroes there, starting to take out people, Superman being one of them. So this is a pretty cool book so far, and it's just really heating up into all that Darkseid stuff that's going to be coming. Oh yeah, and Superboy Prime is back. The 250th issue of Moon Knight. This is the issue 10 of the new series. This is the 50th anniversary of Moon Knight. That's crazy to believe. More power to him. I'll be 50 as well in a couple of weeks, so that's pretty cool. This wraps up that storyline where we have Fairchild here, who he's a drug-dealing gangster from Asgard, and Moon Knight's here to take him down with his team. And of course, the gangster has assembled a team of rogues from Moon Knight's past as well. These guys have all beaten Moon Knight in the past. They've all really whipped the Moon Knight's army there as well for the last year or so. And it all comes to a conclusion here where Moon Knight and his team do win. Love the artwork and the action in here, and really looking forward to what happens in the future. Issue 3 of Mr. Terrific's Year 1. This is the origin story of Mr. Terrific becoming a hero. It's all done in flashback, but at the same time too, this too ties into all the current stuff going on. Mr. Terrific's been trying to track and figure out what's happening with this dark side apocalyptic energy in the current time, and at the same time as well, he's also remembering his first year as being Mr. Terrific, and after having his visit from the Spectre last time, he has kind of put himself together a kind of loosely costume in that, and he's invaded this company and he's going to take them out because he knows that they're doing evil and that used to be his company. So he goes in there with all his gadgets and he takes out this company and ends up getting still wounded himself. So you're really enjoying this so far. Issue 2 of the History of the DC Universe. Kind of a new retelling, a little bit of reconfiguration of the DC history. And it's been pretty good so far. Like the different artists in here. You got Mike Allard in here doing all this as well. And they go from the Superman's ship crashing onto Earth all the way up to the first crisis event in here. So covers a lot in here. covers it really well, actually, and pretty in depth, and as well at the same time not hard to understand. So check these out if you haven't yet, and yeah, just some really great art in here. Following the trend of old properties that are being rebooted awesomely, we have issue 5 of Dynamite Silverhawks from Brisson. This is kind of a flashback issue here. It shows how the Monstar was captured originally 100 years ago by Stargazer and his original Starhawks team, and it barely killed him back then, and was kind of a fluke how they were able to do it. Now it's current, and he has this new team that he's put together after trying to get him after a few died last time, and now they're just getting ready to go out there. So this will be kind of the new team that we're used to as well. So good reboot so far. Lots of great action in here, and yeah, I do like the artwork. And again, they're doing a good retelling of it. So if you weren't knowledgeable of them beforehand, yeah, you can still enjoy this book and not get lost. Issue 1 of Dark Horse's Tex Arcanum. Kind of a neat book here. It's about how in the States and around Texas and all that in the West time, infused definitely with magic in that as well too. So this is about this one guy here, kind of like a loner traveler cowboy dude who deals with kind of like, I wouldn't say exorcism, but kind of monster hunter type stuff. So pretty good book so far. Artwork's been kind of cool, and just a neat premise too. So check it out if you like supernatural stuff, and also a little bit of dark kind of cowboy, almost like Old Country for Old Country for Old Men, but with magic. All right, everybody, that's what I read digitally. Stay tuned for a few books that I had to read. Hey everyone, here's the raw books that I read. First one here from Devil's Due Studio, Circuit, Seduction, Revenge. This is definitely a mature audience comic. It's about a woman who is seeking revenge on this super rich dude, think like a Jeffrey Epstein type of thing going on. These people have crazy sex parties and use people and abuse people all the time. They have created this super high-tech kind of robot sex dolls type of thing, AI sex creatures, and she has managed to infiltrate one of these robots and turn them into like a killing machine for her. It turns out that she obviously has links to this guy in the past and is going after him to do revenge on it. So awesome book so far. Great artwork in here as well too. Super adult, super gory. Very relevant what's going on with the world nowadays politically. And also kind of weird, weird twist ending as well. Makes you think of like the Tales from the Dark Side, or maybe like Dark Mirror or something as well. So awesome book so far. Hopefully there'll be more of these. Circuit, Seduction, Revenge. From Image, we have a book from Jerry Duggan and Jay Lee doing the art on the cover and the interior. This ends tonight. Another super sexy book here too. Really love Jay Lee's art in here. About these two young ladies who are sisters from a family, pretty rich family. And this one girl here is turning 21. And at that age, she's going to find out that her family isn't all what she thought it was. First off, she's been adopted. We kind of have two rivaling families for centuries do a peace thing where they exchange daughters, kind of like Darkseid and the All God there in DC. So, but apparently now this has all come to an end, and now these families are at a war with each other. So this young woman who was out for an evening with her older sister where she's going to find out about it is finding out about it all at once and in a very violent way. So we find out that these families have been around since not quite the beginning of time, but almost. And they were, all this is going on because of kind of like these, I wouldn't say aliens per se, but monsters and that coming back to change how these families see things. So great book so far. Really liking the artwork, like I said multiple times here. And just a lot of action in here too. If you like John Wick type of stuff or that ballerina type of stuff. Or even that last book I talked about there was just, female action and killing in that. Murder, Revenge. This is going to be your book. This book's a little weird. I guess they all are. One more of a fun book is from Keenspot. This is called Dreadmutt. It is a world where there are animalfric people, and we have this one group of kind of henchmen for this one guy, Steven Seagal, who directly looks like Steven Seagal from the 90s and that. He's kidnapped this one rich person's daughter, and then the rich person has hired this guy here, the Dreadnought, to recover his daughter. Action-packed, almost like in a B movie, lots of broken limbs and action in that. And some great artwork in here too. So that's the Steven Seagal type. So, lots of fun, lots of revenge. All these books seem to be about revenge. And yeah, I really enjoyed this one too. He's almost like a Frank Castle Punisher type guy, this Dreadmutt, sorry. From Vault, we have Post Malone's Big Rig. This book was getting lots of attention when it was getting released. All kinds of different covers and stuff like that. Blind bag boxes and all that as well. I enjoyed this, definitely, bonus size. Good artwork in here. Kind of spooky, scary type of stuff here. And it's about the earth being taken over by these demons from devils and hells and that. And the Lord sends down this one former disgraced, I guess he's disgraced and he's no longer practicing preacher, this heavenly rig. And now he's going to travel across America, getting rid of all these demons and that with these two women who are, I guess, the team, the people who have been doing that already, trying to protect Earth from hell and that. So really lots of great horror movie, monster killing and that in here, and blood and guts, and pretty good. I was quite surprised in that. So I know Post Malone didn't do it all by himself story-wise, but pretty awesome start so far, and lots of action in that. And this is definitely going to get turned into some kind of streaming or movie or something. So, Monsters and Truckers. From Mad Cave, we have Look Into My Eyes. Pretty awesome book here. Yeah, just lots of fun. I really enjoyed the artwork in here. We have this one woman who's in this town, and weird stuff are happening there. I know a lot of these books, it's all kind of similar to the way they start in that. But this one here, again, I don't really have a great description of it just because not a whole lot happens in the beginning here. But again, more of this small town stuff where weird stuff happens, and this one woman is trying to investigate it into it more and more. So that's probably a horrible review that I did of that, but I like this book so far. Last, we have another book from Keenspot, a little bit more family-oriented. We have Hero, and it's about this one guy here in purple. He's the biggest and most popular hero in the world, and he calls himself the hero. He's kind of like a douchebag. All he cares about is ratings and money and that. So he comes across a situation where to save himself and that, he has to transfer his powers into someone more deserving, or else it'll cause a chaos throughout the whole world. So he ends up doing it by accident with that little kid there whose name is Hero. He happens to meet him in the crowd one day, and they have that whole kind of Freaky Friday transfer thing going on. So we'll see where that goes for there. But that's kind of what it's like. We have this one guy who's powerful and he's a hero, but he does it for all the wrong reasons. And this young kid who is pure, who's going to teach him to, the wrongs of his ways by showing him how to use his powers properly. All right, that's what I read for you guys raw. Hope to see y'all next week for more reviews. Like, share, and subscribe. Peace out.